How to add text behind your image, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's not waste any time and jump right into it. All right, what's going on, guys? And thank you for joining me. Today we are going to be talking about how to place text behind your image. So right now what I have loaded up is a thumbnail, and this is, an image that I'm going to use for a thumbnail, but I'm going to show you guys how simple it can be to put text behind your image. Now, I am going to be using Photoshop, so, if you're not using Photoshop, this might not help you out, but if you are using Photoshop, it's going to be super, super simple. So, I have my image, and what I want to do is I want to select myself, and I want to put text behind my own head, right? Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Real super easy and simple. We want to go over to the tool bar menu over here on the left hand side, and we're going to choose the quick selection tool, which looks like a little paintbrush with dotted lines. If you hold that down, it'll give you the magic wand, but I'm going to use the quick selection tool today. Now, the way that you guys use the quick selection tool is you want to select your area, not so much around it. You want to select from the inside and then push to your edges. And let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to click down, hold my mouse, and you see how I started pushing down, or I'm pushing to the edges. And with the quick selection tool, what you'll notice is that it will automatically start to detect those edges. Make sure you check little things like that. You see how right there that those letters that got a little messed up. All right. And let me zoom out here. I'm just holding Command minus and Command plus to zoom in and zoom out. All right, I'm going to select myself in this book, and you see how it's already starting to pick up the edges here. And remember, you're just trying to push it to the edges that you want it to select. All right, so that selection looks pretty good right there. I'm not going to do nothing super crazy. It doesn't have to be super great. I just want to show you how easy this technique can be, especially for this. All right, also too, you might notice over here on this side that my selection is coming out a little too far, excuse me. So if I want to push it back, all I'm going to do is hold down Option, and I'm going to push it back to the area that I want it to be selected in. All right. So once again, like I said, this doesn't have to get crazy, especially not for this. If we were doing something that was a little bit more intricate, I would show you how to do that in more detail. But for today's lesson, this is all we need. So we have our subject selected. This is what we want to place our text behind. So once we got our selection, we got our outline, we checked everything, it looks pretty good, right? We're going to go up to this button right here. It says Select and Mask. We're going to click on that. And then over here on the right hand side, you're going to find a bunch of different options. These are your refinements, so you can smooth it out. First one here you're going to see is transparency. And so my transparency is turned up a little bit more, but this lets you see what you actually have selected. Okay. And then we have edge detection right over here, which you can use Smart Radius, which is going to, basically pick up your selection, right? It's going to detect the edges, and then you can turn up the pixels to adjust that how you see fit. Okay. But I'm gonna just leave it at 0 for right now. Just for this sake. And then you have a little bit more, you have a few more options where you have smooth, feather, contrast, and shift edge. That shift edge is basically going to bring it closer to your subject or further from your subject. All right. Feather is just going to soften it up. Smooth is going to smooth it out. All right. And you can mess around with these on your own, free time. Check them out and, see what works for you. So the key point here is that once we see that we have our selection and it's pretty good, we want it how we get it how we want it. We're going to go where it says output to. We're going to click on this, and this drop down menu is going to come up. We're going to choose new layer. Click new layer, hit OK. And now when it comes back to my image in Photoshop, you're going to see I got a brand new layer on top of my background, which is my original layer, right? So if I turn the eyeball off on my background layer, you see all that go, and all you'll see left is my selection, which is on this layer here. So I'm going to turn my background layer back on. I am going to highlight this top layer, the background copy, and I'm going to choose the text tool next. And I'm just going to click anywhere on here, and I'm going to write, actually make that caps. I'm going to write text here. Okay, and then I'm going to click on the check mark up top to select it. Then I'm going to hit Command T, and that's going to give me a box around my text so I can make an adjustment. I'm going to hold down Shift so I keep everything in proportion, and I'm just going to make this bigger. I'm going to click the check mark up top again to accept my selection, and now I want to move this text behind my subject, which is myself. So I'm going to go back to the Move tool, and I'm actually going to go over here to my Layers panel on the right-hand side. I'm going to see where my text layer is, write text here. I'm going to move that right below my background copy where my selection is. And now I can take this text and boom, it's behind my subject. Super simple, super easy. That's the way that you get it done in Photoshop. So this is how you this is how you place text behind your image. If you guys found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, or if you have any more questions on things that I can help you with in Photoshop, please let me know and I'll make a video for you. So thanks again for joining me. Signing off. Peace.